Primarily Critical.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Primarily Critical. At Movies at an After Party, this would be it.
If you have not seen this film, we suggest that you do so before listening any further.
Because we got spoilers, trivia, opinions like crazy, and we can't wait to share them with you.
Good, bad, weird, gross.
We pass judgment on them all.
It wasn't quite done yet. Anyways, it's all good. Today, Conform, damn you.
Yeah.
Today, we're talking about Divergent. This is my pick.
Why did you pick this, Steve?
Well, this is movie 1 of 3. And guess what my next 2 picks are going to be?
No.
Yes. So this is a franchise movie that I wanted to get into.
Now, had you seen this before?
I've seen Divergent before, but I haven't
have
seen
not
the
seen this.
sequels.
Oh, okay.
Right, so I thought I want to bang this series out. It came out around the same time as Hunger Games. Mm-hmm. And it kind of got lumped in that whole thing, right?
Yeah,
and
you can see why. It's
That's one of my comments. Yes, Twilight, Hunger Games.
Yeah.
There's a few others that didn't do so hot, but yeah.
And I just think this kind of stands well on its own, and I wanted to take a closer look at it.
All right. You think it stands well? It's certainly, spoiler, but it's certainly, the ending is definitely suggestive of a sequel, do you not?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So I wouldn't say it stands well on its own in the fact that it's conclusive at the end.
Very true.
Yeah.
Yes. And no, don't watch this expecting it to be have a satisfying ending. You know?
No,
but
it's just the beginning.
It's just but it's I have high hopes about the sequels, and
sure,
and we're going to get into all that later on. But this movie alone, they have 5 factions: Dauntless, abnegation,
I think. Yeah.
amity, candor, and erudite.
Okay.
And then there are these special people called Divergent.
That are
Multi-categorical.
and they
Right.
also have people that didn't fit in anywhere.
In the factionless. My question is, what's the difference between being divergent and factionless?
Well, maybe my take on that is the factionless aren't even qualified to fit into even one category, where divergent is multi-categorical. They're overqualified for one category.
Yeah,
Underqualified, overqualified.
Okay, got it.
Does that make sense?
That does make sense.
Yeah, I had a problem with this whole basis of how this is what this was played in Chicago post-war, or probably World War III kind of scenario. They don't really do they really explain?
They don't explain what happened to
why it came to be.
No,
which
we
is
see a bunch of destroyed buildings and
yeah, we see it, and it looks like many years later.
Right,
and they're the factions, and they all have their different wardrobes, colors, and it's kind of how did this happen? How did we come to that level? Because I find it extremely hard to believe that you could be one thing and
I agree. I think that the premise of this is actually kind of stupid. I mean, I like the movie, but I think the idea that you can categorize a person and that's your function is to be selfless for your entire life. That's not human nature. That just simply isn't. I mean, we'll have moments of being selfless, and we'll have moments of being very selfish, and that's just the cycle of humanity. I mean, that's just human nature. You can't be just that one thing. We kind of all at different times in our life fit in any one of those factions.
Yeah.
So you think that this is just saying that everyone is divergent? We're just not respecting.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess that they're saying is that probably everyone is divergent, but this group is particularly good at this one aspect.
Yeah, and it's a very tidy way to think the world would operate, or this part of the world, Chicago, because we never see anything beyond Chicago's.
No.
So we don't know how other people operate. We don't really know much about.
I'm hoping in the sequels we'll figure it out.
But they do look very, technology is pretty advanced. It seems like they haven't gone back to the Stone Age or something. Like, they operate, function.
They have technology.
Yeah.
And you know what? The odd thing is the whole city is quite run down.
Yes.
But everybody is from Chicago. There's a wall around Chicago, and we don't know what's going on beyond that. But inside it, the city is run down, which means probably that the population is quite low.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
And we don't see any water, so they must have a water shortage of some nature because water is like eroded. Because Chicago is on a.
There's a lot of plants there, though.
So there's
they don't address water really at all.
No.
I mean,
well, there must be some wells or irrigation, but they don't get into that.
No.
And they let the one group outside of the wall.
Did they?
Well, yeah. They showed a scene where they're looking out. Someone was looking out over the wall, and there was the hippie bunch. I don't remember what they are. The
hippie bunch.
Yeah, the peaceful
People.
And, and they're out there doing the crops outside the wall, right?
Oh, I thought it was just inside the wall.
Yeah.
Was that inside the wall? Well, maybe that wasn't. I don't know. I thought it was outside the wall.
Oh, it's frustrating.
Here, I don't want to dive ahead to the end of the movie, but at the end of it, we're left with, of course, the cliffhanger or the eventual sequel coming, and the factions we're led to believe are going to be at war. They're going to fight. But really, who can fight? Do you think the people that are peaceful, they're not trained to fight? There's only a few people that can fight. In other words,
dauntless.
Yeah, because they never were.
Did you really get a sense? We certainly get a sense, though. Yeah, but we get a sense that there's friction between abdication and what's the last one there? Erudites. Okay, we certainly that's the blue people and the black.
The
gray. The blue and the gray.
The tough guys
are definitely at odds. But do you get a sense that any of the other ones are at odds?
No, I don't, and I don't know how the peaceful people and the selfless are going to ever put up arms to fight anything.
Right,
so they'll get slaughtered. Basically, is what we're.
I mean, it just feels like there's a
you know what I mean?
A fight for power between those two groups at this point.
Sure.
Because when the whole system was built, it was built around the idea that the selfless group would rule the other groups.
Right.
Because
they're selfless.
And the smart people, the maybe self-described smart people, they think, well, obviously the smart people should be ruling. So,
right.
I don't know.
I mean, there's some logic to both.
There is.
Here's a thought, not to get off that topic. How did you like the cast? They mix it in with the young cast. That seems to be the trend with the Twilight and the Hunger Games. We got cute. This movie had like good-looking young people running around doing heroic things.
They were very pretty.
Yeah,
pretty people.
All of them.
Yeah,
I couldn't tell some of them apart though.
Yeah.
In a quick glance.
Really?
Yeah.
Weird, eh?
Yeah, there was some because there was
casting was weird. Maybe. Because I watched some other reviews about this movie, and they were saying some of these movies acted together in different movies, so it kind of confuses you because they're in different.
Yeah, when they're also dressed the same, and they have the same skin tone, and they have the same hair color, and then you're automatically expected to know, oh, this is the guy that doesn't like that guy, and then
right.
Yeah. I just don't know that a society could function that clean and divided.
Yeah,
you got,
especially when you divide
and music and all that,
and you divide family. I mean, that goes against pretty much every culture that exists.
Good point.
That's a cultural new thing. Maybe there's some cultural.
We had some more backstory, or maybe like a prequel, or I don't know. Whatever, it doesn't matter. I mean, obviously, I don't know what to say.
I'm a big fan of the concept of having a communal rookery.
Agreed.
Yeah, like having a communal baby place. I think that's not a bad idea. I don't know how you'd implement it.
Depends on your population. When it gets to, we don't know how many people live in this city at this point. Did we have that? I don't recall that. It's manageable. When you're a village, it's manageable. But becoming a city, 50,000 people. That does require politicians and the systems of security and all the things that this movie's talking about. But it's too clean cut for me to think that, you're a farmer and that's all you do, man.
Yeah, I know. It seems like there's a lack of free will in this system, which indicates a dictatorship. And usually indicates eventual revolt.
Yeah, and
if history tells us anything,
exactly what happens. Somebody corrupted and is behind the scenes.
Right. So it doesn't seem like it's actually a feasible system, yet they talk about it like this was the master plan that's going to work, but yet everything we know about history says that that doesn't work.
Yeah.
You divide family, you categorize people, this is your function, that's a dictatorship, you've lost your free will, you've got to do this. This is just ripe for corruption, for rebellion, and all kinds, and that's what history has told us that. So why this is supposedly working in the future is a little mind-boggling.
Well, maybe it's not working. That's the whole.
Well,
thing.
It's not,
we get 3 movies of this, right? They did,
Right.
So something is going to happen.
Well, we're gonna
I
see.
hope something happens in 2 other movies.
You notice there's no money.
There's no money.
There's no money. I didn't see any money.
There's no discussion of money now. You're right. Yeah.
Even though they've got lawyer types, and they'd have to lawyer
Right.
types like to sue people.
It's true. Yeah.
And if it's
The
not about
candor,
money,
the honest. People.
yeah, and if it's not about
Yeah.
money, it's gonna be about your trade, or you have to give up 5 goats for the crime you've
Right.
committed. Or,
They don't look like goat people, though.
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure they're not throwing around goats to,
Well, in the apocalypse, I'm pretty sure goats would be a go-to. They're very hardy.
Yeah. Well, maybe they are. We didn't see their goat stash, but it doesn't mean they don't have one.
goat stash. Maybe
Um,
maybe they're all vegans.
Well, maybe that's possible. I wanted to bring up something about the leader of the abnegation. Hopefully, I'm saying that right. But,
Sure, yeah.
Okay, the selfless. What's his name? Was it
Marcus, maybe?
Marcus? Is that him?
Yes. Yeah,
I
that's
wanna
him.
say
Ray
that,
Stevenson,
yeah.
the
Okay.
actor. Yeah.
Now, what we know now, this is the leader of all of them, all factions, because but he's also the leader of the selfless, right?
Yes.
Yet we know he's an abuser of his son.
Yes.
How does that work? This is the most selfless man apparently in the whole system.
The most successful at telling other people that he's selfless.
Yeah, I guess. Yet he's an
Clearly.
abuser to his son.
Yeah.
Clearly, people are living double lives, and they're
Yeah.
not who they say they
So-
are, and they're not.
Sure.
Once again, people are just
Corruption.
not this cut and dry.
Yeah. Corruption right
maybe
there.
he should have been in a security force there.
People are complicated.
When he's beating his son, he can go, terrible. Terrible, I tell you.
Terrible.
Yeah. He was trying to make his son a better person, I think was what he said. Yeah.
Is that what he said?
I don't know.
I can't
something like
remember.
that. Something like that, but yeah.
But, yeah, I thought the lead actress, Shailene Woodley,
Yes.
was great as an action
Yes.
hero, as
I thought she was
the Divergent.
fantastic, yeah.
Good job. And but having to compare movies, I really liked Jennifer Lawrence in Hunger Games. I thought she was great. If you recall any of those movies,
Yeah.
It's a blur now,
It's a
to
bit
me.
of a blur, yeah.
Yeah.
but I thought they're both
Yeah.
good. But I gave the edge to the Jennifer Lawrence.
Well, and
Sorry, fans.
say something about Shailene Woodley there. She as an individual, is that how you say that? Or?
Sure.
Okay, she as an individual is actually apparently a great person. She's involved in a lot of really great things. So
Maybe that
that's
changes
awesome.
my
yeah,
mind.
I can't remember what they were. I wish
I'm
I could.
dealing with a fictional person in here, but kudos.
Beatrice.
Yeah.
Good on you.
But she shortens it to Tris
Shailene.
later on.
Tris.
Tris, yeah, Beatrice Tris.
It's a cool way
How-
to get a tattoo, though.
Yeah, it is. Yeah,
It's a very safe way
Yeah.
to get a tattoo.
Interesting note, a cast here. Look, Zoe Kravitz is the daughter of Lenny Kravitz.
No.
Oh, really?
Did you know?
I did not know.
I would think that's
Wait,
pretty.
she was the shorter girl,
yeah,
right?
she's like in the
She was in the Candor. She
Yes,
was in
sir.
the justice system, or whatever.
Right.
Well, no.
no, she was one of the
She
friends
was one of the Donalds.
that was at the beginning of the movie. Is trained they're trying to make the cut of the
Yeah.
of the
Yeah, but what
Dauntless.
was she originally? Before she went over to
her
Donald?
family. What her family was?
Yeah.
I don't know.
She was with Abnegation too, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Well,
I
you know what? I think she was an erudite. Erudite.
Erudite, blue. She was blue.
Yeah, she was one of those smart people.
She was okay. Yeah,
I don't know, 'cause
Yeah, because she was one of the. They called them the transfers or whatever that didn't stick with they came
Their
from
faction,
and
yeah.
she was one of them. She was a transfer that. Yeah.
It seems mean that how they treated the people that didn't fit in anywhere. And I
Yeah.
would assume all these people they got maybe challenges with disabilities and mental issues.
You're talking about the
And,
factionless.
yeah, and so
I bet the factionalists have all the fun.
Couldn't they put it?
I bet they do, right?
I bet you, yeah.
They
All the
probably
fun?
sit there, they just walk around, and then like, okay, they're all, hey guys, let's party, you know?
Yeah, until they're getting offed by the corrupt people. Because
Yeah.
the whole drugging thing, where they could drug them and change their mind with mind control drugs
Yeah.
and stuff.
That was weird.
That was
It's a bit of a stretch, even for a sci-fi loving
It
guy
was-
like myself.
I know.
I mean, you're already
Yeah.
trying to buy into this really.
It's pretty sci-fi and technology advanced for people wearing rags, basically.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
anyways,
we're already trying. It's already a stretch. We're already trying to buy into this new Chicago,
Yeah.
and then they throw in mind control.
Yeah, with a little serum. That does, yeah.
It makes me want to read the book. Probably the book explains it much better. I don't know.
I would think so.
What else we?
how did you like Kate Winslet as the baddie?
Yeah, she doesn't always. Most of her movies, she doesn't play a bitch, but she
Yeah.
did a bitch pretty good.
Yeah,
She
she's
did
a
good.
great
She
actress.
did a good bitch,
right?
yep.
I think I like when you see actresses or actors take a role that's against their cast,
Yeah.
their typecast,
Yeah.
and then do a good job at it.
Yeah,
Say, comes to mind is Sir Patrick Stewart doing Green Room. When you're, being the evil guy, bad KKK leader, you know what I mean? There's
Yeah,
examples.
Oh, yeah.
And they do a good job of it, and I'm like, yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
He should play more bad guys. Totally.
Yeah, that kind of thing
Yeah.
comes
Yeah.
in. And Kate
Well, yeah,
Winslet, pretty
Kate
good.
Winslet has run the gauntlet. I mean, she's played so many different diverse roles and so many different people and different languages, even and different backgrounds, and she's quite dynamic. A lot going on there.
Very dynamic woman.
Yeah, she's pretty too.
Absolutely.
Hardy. I liked
Hardy.
the casting of Triss's parents, Ashley Judd,
Yeah,
and who's Papa Tony Goldwyn. Yeah, I think it is.
yeah. He's
They
one of those
both
guys
die.
that's like, oh man, I've seen him in so many
Yeah,
things.
these are the people that.
Which guy are we talking about?
We're
dad.
talking,
Oh,
we're talking
the
about the
dad.
mom and
the
dad.
daddy.
Was it? Caleb maybe. I don't know.
No, Caleb's the brother. No, yeah, maybe. it's
Maybe.
Caleb. I don't know.
Caleb is Caleb.
We don't want to start guessing. Now, do the trains ever stop, Phil?
The trains.
I should have counted how many times I saw a stopped train. I bet it'd be lower than you think.
I didn't even think of that. These action scenes and stuff, right? Like
They're all jumping off and on to these
Yeah,
trains.
yeah. Like,
crazy
why not
shit.
just build a stop there? Make a lot more sense. But
Well, you're referring to like the opening scene where they're doing the crazy, or like the
Dauntless, yeah.
Well, that's what they do. They do
But
crazy
in the
shit.
beginning, yes, they
Yeah.
jump off the
But
train.
then there's the whole-
But then they jump on the train, and then they jump off the train, and then they
That's
jump
how
on
they
the train.
roll.
It's always running.
That's how
Yeah.
they roll. They do extremely crazy shit.
I think I remember
know?
seeing the train stopped once.
I don't know.
This is a very unsafe Chicago.
yeah, it's dangerous. It's dangerous. Yeah.
That's right.
Be a factionalist and just stay the hell away from all those other people. 'Cause
Yeah.
Do you think
there's
they
nothing to-
still have the Chicago pizza?
Ooh, I
Chicago
don't know.
Blackhawks?
Oh,
Chicago
jeez.
Bears?
No.
Oh, yeah. The Cubs. They still have the Cubs.
They still hold
Pizza,
on to
yes,
this
the
tradition
sports
of
teams know.
we must praise the pizza. For the pizza is what made Chicago. It's like a religion.
Yeah.
That's another spin. That would be my spin on the movie if I was part of it.
Just add a pizza
Because
element.
then they can have their
Mind control
temple.
pizza.
Mind control. They can have their.
Spinning pizza.
What is it? The Blackhawks play, I think, at the United Center, if I'm correct. They could have their temple for the pizza.
Yeah,
at the
there
United
you go.
Center. They all would worship there.
Perfect.
Because they wouldn't have ice anymore.
Yeah.
We'd just have an open place to.
No. Sorry, back to the movie here.
Yeah, please.
Why do they bother with a test? Like, did they go to tell when it's ultimately up to the individual that they're going to pick anyway? Like,
And wouldn't you know? Like by that time, you're 16, right? Is the age of.
yeah, like what's that? Is that a?
Don't you know by then? You'd know what you want.
I think it was the
you think-
erudite people that were just they were getting records of people's
Right.
dispositions, right?
Right. So they wanted. It's actually a way to get information about people,
Yeah.
and
Yes. Yeah.
and then give them the illusion that the only free will you have in our society is to pick your faction. But otherwise, you're pretty much under control of everything.
But I like what you have to say. History has told us one thing, and we just can't really try to segregate and control
People want to be
that
free.
way.
I mean,
Yeah,
that's at the end of the day, freedom
and it's
is
happening
everything.
today
So-
around the world. People are protesting and
Yeah.
fighting the governments and systems and dictators.
Yeah, and it always will. People will always want to be free. You know, you might want to be in one of those factions. You're growing up your entire life. You want to be until you're in that faction. You're told you have to be in this faction. Then you want to be in something else. That's just human nature.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
True that.
Oh, what does that grass over there taste like?
Exactly. Yeah.
I don't like Chicago pizza.
Yeah,
I want to
mean,
go
people
somewhere
are
else.
switching jobs all the time. They're switching wines. There's, I mean, they're switching beer brands. There's, I mean, that's the way we are,
Should we get on to trivia? Or do you
Yeah,
have
let's get
anything
into
else?
trivia. The sound that Peter, played by Miles Teller, makes when Triss, played by Shailene Woodley, punches him in the throat. So the sound that Peter makes when Triss punches him in the throat is genuine.
Wow.
Woodley didn't want to hurt Teller. She was being timid. As filming continued, Teller and Woodley got more aggressive, and during one take, Woodley actually hit him in the throat, which Teller wasn't expecting. This is the take that is in the movie.
I like
Wow.
that. I like that.
Okay.
You ever think an actor, when they're just tired of the person they're acting with,
Yeah.
just, lets loose and just punches the guy? Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh, and they're like, that was perfect. That's
Yeah,
exactly
like
what we
it's
were
the
looking
movie,
for.
but I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do it. But meanwhile, I
Yeah.
did mean to punch you in the throat.
That's right.
Don't punch people in the throat. Don't listen to
I'm just saying. Be nice on the set when you're,
Does the same go for sexual tension and love scenes in movies?
Maybe Mr. Teller was an ass on the set, and you need to get punched to the throat from a woman too. So,
Woodley didn't want to hurt Teller.
That's
this
what
is
she
according to
says
IMDb.
when she's interviewed.
Yeah. Well, you never know.
Theo James did all of his own fight stunts with no stunt double. Well, that guy.
No, that's
He's
4.
special.
Wow. He's like a Tom Cruise.
What kind of stunts did we have to do?
Oh, there was a fair amount of stunts he did, The fighting
The
scenes.
rolling, the jumping on trains, jumping off of trains.
Yeah, jumping into nets and stuff.
Yeah, that's true. Pretty impressive stuff.
Theo.
Crazy town.
Better watch out, Tom Cruise.
Yes, Tom Cruise.
Take
He's
your
younger than you, buddy, and he's
Watch
not in that
out.
freaky church of yours either.
Oh, hey.
Okay, all right, sorry. Okay, all right.
Go there.
Okay.
We'll save that for the next Tom Cruise review.
Okay. Kate Winslet was 5 months pregnant during filming.
What?
Wow. Despite the fact that she was only on set for 4 weeks, it reached the point where her pregnancy was evident. She was shot above the waist or was directed to carry folders, files, and iPads.
To cover her tummy.
Yeah.
I thought you could have just ended that paragraph. She was shot. The producers.
Kate Winslet is still with us.
Pregnant?
Maybe 100 years ago that would have happened.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
Man, that's horrible, Phil.
that's horrible.
Yeah.
Phil, why don't you read the last one?
my notes ended right there. And she was shot. Okay. When ziplining after capture the flag, the extra who opens the door and is on the roof first is Veronica Roth, the author of the Divergent series.
Oh, well, how about that?
Well, you're trying to be Stephen King, getting all your movies, you.
Now, when do you get paid for that? Does she get paid for that, or is that just
Part of the contract when she signed over the rights to the book.
How's that work?
Be in your movie.
Yeah.
I like
or maybe she
I
wanted-
like the cameos when the creators are involved.
Yeah.
Like I said, Stephen King and
Yeah, I like that.
But I don't remember seeing her. I wouldn't recognize her.
I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't either,
It's hard
no.
to miss Stephen King there. He's always the same, or Stan Lee.
Or
He's got a line,
like
yeah.
Albert Hitchcock. I mean,
Hitchcock.
he's an odd-looking fella, and
Totally.
you always can spot him. Just look for that bald, heavy-set man in the crowd, and there he is. Yeah.
There he is.
Yeah.
There he is. Well, good for you, Veronica. I'm sure that that's something that you wanted to see.
Yes.
And I like this movie.
So, Steve, you want to continue picking the next sequel and 2 other movies, right?
Yeah, Allegiant and
That'll be interesting.
I think it's worth a watch. I mean, as much as I could disagree with the whole
And here's the kicker. I don't know if I can't remember that I watched the sequel. So, wow.
Yeah,
Eh?
yeah,
Some
well,
movies,
we're old. You know, we're getting old,
old.
Phil. Yeah.
Yeah.
Soon we'll be able to watch this. We'll have the same podcast every week.
We'll just say
same movies.
We'll just say watch
Did
the
we do this
same.
one already? I don't know. I don't think we did this yet.
We'll just watch the
Primarily
same movie.
critical, yeah,
and review the same movie over and over again.
When we're in our twilight years,
And
we'll be
then-
doing the
and-
same
and-
podcast
And
every
you know what
week.
movie that'll
Yes.
be? And you know what movie that'll be?
Oh God. Beer
Movie
league.
43.
Oh no!
Every time we watch the same.
You know that
I didn't see it. I didn't see it. Oh.
this zip lining thing. This zip line.
Yeah.
You mentioned this in the last trivia point. It's incredibly dangerous.
Yes. Very
They,
cool.
they were very cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Going through holes in buildings.
Holes in buildings, just like all through the city.
Yeah.
That was this shortcut home.
Hey,
Now she had to pull on the brake, and she barely made it.
Yeah.
Right. I kind of wanted to see somebody die.
You want to see them splat in that
I
wall.
wanted to see somebody splat into the wall
Yeah.
because,
here's the thing.
we're expected to
agree with you.
believe
Yeah.
that everyone survived.
Yeah, and like if she barely, like she's reaching for that thing and barely got it in time, surely there's somebody less coordinated than her. That's just gonna, you know. And we should have been given that. We deserve that.
Sorry, you were.
And you gave me a hard time about shooting the pregnant lady?
Well,
Yeah.
Anyways. This movie was a PG-13 movie, probably geared towards teenagers. It's
Sure.
gonna be a little soft, where you know that probably in the book
Yeah.
people did go splat and things probably happened.
Uh-huh.
Whereas if you watched movies like The Hunger Games, I think they were a little bit heavier on some
Sure.
killing and stuff. And whereas like Twilight series, goodness, that was just it was soft. It was for like preteens almost, like
Tweens.
violent. Anyways.
Anyways,
Did you like the movie? Obviously you did, if you're going to continue picking it.
yes, I reserve final judgment until the last.
You want to watch the whole trilogy.
But,
and,
it was a huge success. 85 million budget, and it did 288 million 89 really million in the box office.
Yeah.
There you go.
yeah, that's sequel
When
material.
you make more than $200 million on a movie,
You make another one.
that's it.
yeah.
That's just how it works nowadays. Thank you so much for joining us. Next week, Monday at noon, we're covering
Bum-ba-dum.
Heaven Knows What. That's actually a really good. Who Heaven Knows What we'll be covering.
Heaven knows what.
And I was think that this was your pick.
This was-
Once more.
Oh, no, it's okay.
Oh, okay.
It's okay.
All right.
My phone is telling me about a tweet. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay.
What phone?
My camera.
Is this
Anyway,
being filmed?
my camera's trying to tell me something.
What? I thought we just like stare off into the distance.
Sean,
Yes. Why did I pick
why
this?
did you pick Heaven Knows?
Well, you know, it was. I realized it was kind of a true story, and the person who wrote the story wrote it and acted in it. So, I thought that was kind of a cool concept.
Yeah, and she plays herself. Who
She
was herself?
plays herself. Who was herself? Yes.
Yeah.
So-
Crazy.
I know, right? I mean, you got to at least see that.
Crazy.
You gotta
You better
give it,
check it
gotta
out.
give it a shot.
Gotta
You know.
check it out.
Okay, check it out, and then come back next week Monday noon. We're going to talk about it. I can't wait. I'm Steve.
Wow.
This is
Phil.
and this is
John.
Peace.
Primarily